Attention passionate Buffalo, BILLSFANS. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Buffalo Bills' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Buffalo Bills fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Buffalo, BILLSFANS. Let's get to the news now, folks. If you're following the NFL, especially the AFC East, you know that this division has been one of the most competitive, unpredictable, and fiercely contested over the past few seasons. But right now, there's a buzz, a rumor that's been circulating among insiders that could shake things up significantly. And I'm talking about the potential acquisition of Jeffrey Simmons by the Buffalo Bills. Yes, you heard that right. Simmons, the all-pro defensive tackle from Tennessee, might be heading to Buffalo, and that could be a game-changer not only for the Bills but for the entire AFC playoff picture. Let's start by contextualizing the situation. The Tennessee Titans, currently sitting at 1-4, find themselves in a tough spot. Their defense has been leaking points, allowing an average of 28 points per game, which is far from satisfactory for a team that once prided itself on its grit and defensive resilience. The Titans, with a cap space of around $14 million, are in a clear rebuild mode, and it seems that they're prioritizing youth, especially on the offensive line, where they've allowed 32 sacks in just 5 games. That's an alarming rate, and it clearly indicates that the Titans are in the midst of a tanking process, focusing on developing rookies like Will Levis and trying to build around their young core. Now, the Bills, on the other hand, are sitting pretty at 4-1, and they're looking to solidify their position as AFC contenders. Their interior defensive line has been somewhat exposed, especially with T.J. Sanders going down with an injury that ended his season, an unfortunate blow for Buffalo. But they've responded quickly, bringing back Ed Oliver, who's been limited due to a knee injury, and pairing him with Daquan Jones, forming a formidable duo that's been elevating the Bills' pass rush and run defense. This combination has been instrumental in maintaining the Bills' strong defensive identity, which has historically been a hallmark of their success. And here's where Simmons comes into play. The defensive tackle is not just any player. He's an all-pro, a 3-time Pro Bowler, and one of the most disruptive forces on the interior line in the NFL today. Drafted in 2019 from Mississippi State, Simmons has developed into a dominant force, combining elite pressure, run-stopping ability, and consistent production. In the 2024 season, he logged 6.5 sacks, placing him among the top 12 defensive tackles league-wide, along with 9 tackles for loss and a plus +0.17 EPA per snap, which is an elite number. His PFF grade of 87.4 ranks him 6th among all defensive tackles, and his hurry rate of 15% places him in the top 10, showcasing how often he's able to pressure quarterbacks. Simmons' stats for 2025 are equally impressive. He's already amassed 18 tackles solo, ranking 20th among interior linemen, and has 3 sacks, which puts him in the top 8. His ability to double team was evident, with a rate of 32%, placing him in the top 5 for that category. His yards after contact allowed are just 2-3 yards per tackle, again, highlighting his ability to bring down ball carriers quickly and efficiently. Just look at his game against the Packers in Week 3, where he recorded 5 tackles and a sack, making his presence felt in every play. What makes Simmons such a valuable asset isn't just his individual talent, but also how he elevates the entire defensive front. When he's on the field, the run defense improves significantly, with projections indicating that his presence could help reduce the Bills' run yards allowed from around 110 yards per game to closer to 90. That's a remarkable improvement, especially considering the importance of stopping the run in the AFC playoff picture. His ability to stuff the interior lines complements the talents of Daquan Jones, creating a duo that can dominate both in pass rush and run defense. Now, the Titans, as I mentioned earlier, are not in a playoff position, with odds of making the postseason at plus 150,000, which is practically a long shot. They're in full rebuild mode, and they're actively looking to clear cap space and acquire draft picks, which explains the potential move of Simmons. The risk, however, is that losing Simmons could impact their run defense significantly, as it would decrease their EPA per rush by about 15%. This is reminiscent of what the Jaguars experienced after trading away or losing key players, leading to a less formidable defense. But for the Bills, this is an opportunity, a chance to add a true game wrecker to their defensive line, one who could transform their chances in the postseason. In Buffalo, Simmons isn't just a plug-and-play player, he's a difference-maker. His projected impact includes an additional 8 sacks over the course of a season, which would push the Bills' total from 15 last year to potentially 25. This surge in pass rush ability would be crucial in a league where quarterback pressure often determines the outcome of games. His presence could also help reduce the run yards allowed per game from 110 to around 90, making Buffalo's defense one of the league's elite in both facets. When you think about it, Simmons's addition could elevate the Bills' overall defensive efficiency, leading to a significant drop in points allowed, possibly down to around 18 per game. That's the kind of improvement that could take them from a solid playoff team to a legitimate Super Bowl contender. Talking about the AFC picture, the odds for the Bills winning the Super Bowl have already improved, dropping from plus 1,500 to plus 700, and they're now considered among the favorites in the conference at plus 150. That's a huge shift, and it's all tied to the potential addition of a player like Simmons. His ability to stuff the run, pressure the quarterback, and disrupt plays at the line of scrimmage is reminiscent of some of the best defensive tackles in recent history, like Fletcher Cox or Aaron Donald, players who can single-handedly change the course of a game. Simmons could be that type of impact player for Buffalo, especially come playoff time. The AFC East, traditionally a battleground, could see a shift in power dynamics if Simmons lands in Buffalo. The Bills, with their already potent offense led by Josh Allen, would gain an even more formidable defense. The addition of Simmons, combined with the return of Ed Oliver and the contributions of Daquan Jones, could create a defensive line that rivals some of the best in recent memory. Imagine the pressure they could generate, especially against high-powered offenses like those of the Dolphins or the Jets. Their defenses could become almost impossible to run against, forcing opponents into long down-and-distance situations that favor the Bills' pass rush. And let's not forget the impact on the playoff race. Simmons's presence could be the final piece that pushes Buffalo over the top, especially in close, tense games. When you have a dominant interior presence, it's easier to control the line of scrimmage, set the tone defensively, and give your offense more chances to score. Plus, with the Bills' offense already so dynamic, especially with Josh Allen's dual-threat ability, having a defense that can reliably stop the run and pressure the quarterback makes them a nightmare for any opponent. Now, from a strategic standpoint, Buffalo's front office has been known for making shrewd moves, and acquiring Simmons would be no different. It's about maximizing their window, especially with Allen playing some of the best football of his career, and their offensive line, though improved, still has room for growth. Adding a player of Simmons's caliber not only boosts their immediate Super Bowl odds, but also signals to the rest of the league that the Bills are all in. They're building a roster that can contend now and for years to come, especially if they can lock him in with an extension after the trade. Looking ahead, the impact of such a move would ripple through the league, affecting not just the Bills but the entire AFC race. Teams like the Chiefs, Bengals, and Ravens would need to account for a Bills defense that's now significantly more disruptive. Simmons's ability to penetrate gaps and collapse the pocket could be the difference in those high-stakes playoff matchups, where every possession counts and defenses that can generate pressure are often the deciding factor. In a broader sense, this potential trade highlights how the NFL continues to evolve. It's not just about star quarterbacks anymore. The game is increasingly dictated by dominant defensive lines, versatile linebackers, and creative defensive schemes. Simmons's addition would embody that trend, providing Buffalo with a true disruptor up front. It's a move that could define their season and possibly their franchise's future, elevating them into the elite echelon of NFL teams. So fans, the question now is, how do you see this playing out? Will the Titans really part ways with Simmons and send him to Buffalo? And what will that mean for the Bills' Super Bowl aspirations? All of this is brewing right now, and it's one of those stories that could develop very quickly in the coming days. The The NFL is a league of surprises, and sometimes the biggest ones come from bold moves like this that shift the balance of power overnight. And now, Buffalo Bills fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Bills. Do you believe Simmons can be the missing piece for a Super Bowl run? Are you excited about the possibility of seeing him in that Bills blue, dominating the interior line? And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Buffalo Bills news. We're in the middle of what could be one of the most exciting seasons in recent memory, and this potential move only adds fuel to the fire. Thanks for sticking with me through this deep dive, and as always, keep the passion alive, Bills fans.